We're live.
Hello, we are here for a round table discussion. We're all sitting at a round table. You just don't know it. We're all in the same place.
The internet, yes.
Yes. For those that are new, we'll start recording the actual podcast here in a minute. We're just saying hi to everybody on YouTube and Facebook.
What up? Whoop. Do we do?
Thanks for your
Do we do that?
What?
Do we say what up?
What up?
It could be a new thing, I suppose.
Or it can never happen again.
We'll table that for discussion. Let's put a pin in that.
Yeah. What up?
Pin in that.
As my kids say, "What's up, party people? Am I right?"
Am I right?
I'm like, well, I don't know why they say "Am I right."
They go to a lot of raves.
Am I right?
No.
Yeah, they say it's from a movie, but we watched the movie and they definitely don't say "Am I right" in the movie.
Maybe they do.
Am I right? Anyways, all right, Ray Winchester, thank you for being here.
Of course.
It's gonna be
Absolutely
fun. We're gonna hit record. We're gonna go. Mephisto Train Gang is still hanging out. The actual train is here now.
Oh.
It's right behind me. It will never leave me. It is a part of me, just like the children are a part of Mephisto. We'll get to that.
All right.
Help me, Mom. Anyway, are we ready? I'm going to hit record. Kate, you don't have to edit all this out later. So as long as I talk, you'll have to edit
I don't have to
out.
edit anything out.
No,
It's
you
just
do
the
for you
dead
too.
air on YouTube. It's odd.
Oh, everybody sit silent.
No. the part at the beginning is what I mean. Sure.
All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to I Am Geek, and this is episode 184.
Yes.
I'm Ryan. I'm joined by my brother Chris and our good pal Katrin, and this is it. It's all come to this moment.
Mandalorian.
WandaVision. Oh, no.
No,
WandaVision.
I wore my Star Wars shirt for this. But
You guys.
Yeah, that's
We're
really
here
good
for the
about
world
Mandalorian
according
again.
to. What about the world according to Jeff Goldblum? Come on.
I have to start over, aren't I?
I'm sorry.
Andrew, don't edit that out later.
Round table. I'm not editing it out. So stay in. But we're joined by Ray Chase, who joins us for all these round tables. It's like his own space.
I like round
He
tables.
stays at the table
Yes.
like the whole time until we get back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't watch any of these things we talk about. He just likes round tables.
Yeah.
It's his table.
He's there for that. Mhm.
And the mighty Winchester is here. You may have seen him in the comments.
Hi.
You've seen him on the show before. But he's back to talk WandaVision with us. Are you excited to be here?
Yeah. I mean.
Yes.
Like I put you on the spot.
Yeah.
Watching us on
Good.
YouTube or Facebook, my training gang is being represented behind me. I have a train behind me with Mephisto on it. It's Mephisto Train Gang. I will never let it go. I'm going to die on that hill. Mephisto is going to show up somewhere, sometime, and I'll be ready.
How about that?
Yes. He took the time
He
to
printed stuff off.
print out a picture.
Used all his coloring.
and took his children's train
It's on draft.
and made it train.
I
Remember
was going
Back
to
to the
ask
Future-
who's.
Remember in Back to the Future 3 when the train goes off the cliff
Yes.
and crashes? That's your
Is that
train.
what happened?
That's the Mephisto train. It has left the station.
Oh.
It's gotten up to 88 and it's just crashed over the hill.
I'm telling
There's a lot of different colored smoke come out of it.
Yeah.
Mephisto is going to show up sometime. Of course, not in WandaVision. We know that.
Sometime in my lifetime, he's
Yeah.
going to be there.
But he will be there.
So in the
train will
meantime,
come back
Ryan's
with
just
Dr.
ruined someone's Christmas.
Bum, bum, ba-dum.
Mephisto's going to be there. Did you know Vance, who's in the comments right now, shared this picture. Do you know there's an actual train called the Mephisto Train?
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
is a real train that takes people.
It's right behind you.
No, it takes people on this like journey in the mountains or something, and they do
Magic act.
the Faust musical or whatever on board.
Huh.
But it's an actual train. It looks creepy as all get out.
I think you found your summer vacation.
I know.
Forget Disney World. They go ride the Mephisto train.
Mephisto train. Anyways, all right. So we'll get into the Mephisto thing. Why I'm so big on it. Why I will always be big on it when it comes to some of this Marvel magic stuff, because he's got to be a part of it sometime. If they do Ghost Rider, he definitely has to be a part of it, right?
After WandaVision, there's no absolutes with anything.
Yeah.
That's sort of where Ghost Rider comes from. Anyways,
Could they
Alright.
just be references for the sake of
he
referencing?
I think Mephisto will come sometime. We'll use him somewhere.
Okay.
He's already been mentioned in the MCU.
Has he been?
Yes.
He was?
Yeah. There was some paperwork that had, and it had
On a
Mephisto's name.
producer's desk.
No, they're like looking at this paperwork, and you look down, and it says Mephisto across it. Like in the paragraph, like it's talking about
Is
Mephisto.
this something that was magnified 300 times?
I
Yeah.
paused it,
Was this
and then
in
I took a picture with my
Was
phone,
it
and
in
then I
Agents
zoomed
of
in really
S.H.I.E.L.D.?
close.
Hold on. Hold on, don't find it.
There was an M and E. The rest was covered up, but it's definitely Mephisto.
Yes.
Memphis.
Gotta be.
It was
Maybe it was Memphis.
Yes. It was Memphis all along.
I'm telling you, it's already been mentioned.
All right, that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fine.
Well,
Okay,
believe
yeah.
you.
It was in the
Fine.
Tesseract document.
Huh.
Oh.
in which movie?
In the Avengers.
Oh.
The
Avengers.
Avengers.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
See, I know what I'm talking
Well,
about.
if it was in the Avengers, then
Well,
it's definitely gonna be.
But
anyways,
Yeah.
forget about that. We'll get more on
We're-
that. All right, so
let's get this
the
train
series
back
is-
on the tracks.
Yeah. the series-
And by the way, there will be spoilers.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
Spoilers.
Dear God.
Total spoilers throughout this. Spoiler: no Mephisto.
Zing!
So many more spoilers.
It's a Mephisto joke.
I'm here all night. It's fine.
Yeah. There is some stuff that I predicted that actually did happen. Right? Yes, there is. Of course, I think we'll get into it. Anyways, overall, okay, so we had 9 episodes. Some people thought we were going to have 10, but they cut it. We found that out by the director saying, yes, there was going to be 10, but then we cut it. Stuff at the time, and I guess that we
Thanks,
found
2020.
yeah, 2020. We found out that the finale wasn't finished until like 2 weeks ago.
Huh.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Yeah, they were still doing stuff and putting it together and all this stuff. So it wasn't done until like 2 weeks before it aired, which is crazy. But anyways, all right.
Yeah.
Overall, and we all know what Chris is going to say and what Caitlin's going to say. They're going to say it's good. What did you guys think of the show overall? We'll start with Ray.
With me. I enjoyed it. I thought it started a little slow. I think the first 2 episodes could have been combined into 1 episode because it was sort of both episodes kind of felt like the same thing, just repeated. It was like this is an episode of an old black and white comedy, and there's a little bit of mystery. And I don't think they needed to do that twice. They could have just done that once. But once it got going, I thought it was pretty cool, and there was a lot of intrigue. I talked to Chris about this a couple days ago. Kind of reminded me of Lost a little bit, where they kind of set things up, not always paying those things off, but led to lots of speculation. Kind of got you talking, like what's going on, what's happening, and that was kind of cool. So overall, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun series. The finale, I gave the finale 3.5 Grogu's out of 5 Grogu's, because it was good, but as we'll get to in a moment or two, there were some things that could have been better. I have some notes.
Ooh, we got notes.
I got notes.
This is why I have Ray on to get his notes.
But yeah, I mean, I'm glad I watched. I'm glad I watched. I thought it was a lot of fun. But
now, did you try to stay spoiler free? Like this first chance you got, you watched the episode when it came out.
The finale, my son and I stayed up and we watched it when it dropped.
I did too.
Yeah, and after it was over, I was like, well,
I did
probably didn't need to do that.
Yeah. Why did I stay up? There was no spoilers. And the funny thing was that, like, they were saying online, like the studio or somebody was saying, some of the actors like, don't spoil the finale, and people were like responding like, what was there to spoil? There was really nothing to spoil.
Yeah. I mean, maybe her out, when she becomes the Scarlet Witch, because I mean, the next day I just went on to YouTube, and already in my recommended there were like thumbnails showing her in the full-on getup, which I was like, oh man, surprise and a nice kind of moment.
That's the spoiler.
While there was no Luke Skywalker level cameo that everybody was sort of primed for, that was kind of a cool moment that I'm glad I experienced it without having it spoiled by the cursed internet. So yeah, but yeah, I mean, the next time, like the finale for Falcon Winter Soldier, I'll probably watch it Friday night after a full night's sleep and whatnot. So
I don't see, and we can talk about Falcon Winter Soldier later. I don't see there being as much mystery in that one as like, oh, this is going to happen. It's going to spoil this. I think it's just
be more like straight on action adventure, rather than what's going on, what's real,
buddy
pulling the
cop
strings,
yeah, buddy cop comedy elements, and that's about it. Which we can get into that because I want to talk about the timeline of when all these shows and stuff were supposed to come out, which is interesting. All right, who's next? Anyone? Okay, Winchester, go ahead.
All right, it's kind of hard to follow up Ray. Let's see, I'm a college student that procrastinates, so I didn't have any notes. But I did watch every episode right when it dropped.
Guess go first.
And then I would watch it again that night because, I mean, I have to do stuff during the day, so it's like, okay, I'm gonna watch it at 2 a.m. because it dropped Pacific time. I was like, okay, 2 a.m, and then we'll go 9 o'clock at night, and we'll continuous loop. I do agree that it did start out pretty slow, and that's why they kind of dropped it all at once. After everything had gone out there, like the first 3 episodes were supposed to be all dropped at once, and then there's supposed to be that 10th episode. So it did feel kind of rushed towards the end with a lot of empty paths to go down, but it did misdirect us a lot, and I was going to say, they did it on purpose, though, and Paul Bettany just trolling us to that degree because he's like, always wanted to work with this actor my entire life, and then you're like, oh, okay, the ship of the Theseus, cool. That's about it. But I was going to say, it was a good introduction for a lot of different ideas going on within Phase 4 and beyond, like Secret Invasion, Armor Wars. There's talks about Jimmy Woo getting his own like X-Files type show right now. And just it opened the door for so many opportunities. And I applaud Kevin Feige and all of Marvel Studios right now for that. But
I thought we were applauding.
the slow clap too.
Yeah,
I know.
Awesome.
it'd get flashed faster if we all joined in. By the time
It would pick up. Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't happen though. So
No, Katrin. Katrin's in black and white right now, which is cool.
It didn't happen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Still.
I'm black and white. Yeah, fancy.
Yeah.
I was one of those that had issues with it when it started, right? Because I didn't really know a whole lot about it going in, and I was like, what is happening with this show? And like Ray, the first 2 episodes were kind of just these fun episodes that really didn't feel like they really meant anything, right? They just were kind of like introducing people, introducing the show, but it really was just these funny things happening, like sitcoms were. They were just funny things, right? Funny stories. So it picked up, and we enjoyed it. Watched every episode. Sometimes we didn't watch till Sunday or Saturday or Sunday. Most of the time, I think I saw maybe one spoiler throughout. I guess I'm just not on the internets as much. I don't know, but it was fine. So, but I didn't think it would be a show that my wife would enjoy. I don't think she cared for it first, because she first couple minutes in, she's got the phone up. Oh, lost her, but she got into it later. So I asked if she wanted to be on tonight, because we were trying to find somebody else or some other people, and besides Ray and Winchester. But sorry, that was supposed to be funny, but but she's like, I could talk about how much I like Elizabeth Olsen, and I was like, no.
I tried to get Elizabeth Olsen on, but
yeah, it's.
She said if we were recording tomorrow, she
Yeah.
could have been on.
Yeah,
But
no, I
I
get
said
it.
we can't do that.
She's very busy right now, so.
But yeah, it was good.
It was
It
good.
was good. I like it.
Hi, Chris.
All right. It's good.
Okay.
There you go.
Good night, everybody. No, I liked it. Overall, I liked it. Kind of the same thing everybody's been saying, except the first episodes, they didn't really get me down or anything. They didn't really, to me, they didn't necessarily feel slow, because growing up, I watched a lot of Nick at Night. Like, that was like the shows I watched. Like, it was, so it was a nice kind of, I don't know, remembrance, or just kind of flashback to growing up as a kid. It was a nice kind of study in how those shows were kind of made and filmed for a little bit. So I kind of geeked out about that. So that was kind of fun for me. And overall, I was, you know me, I'm one of those people like, theory here, this could happen, and this could happen, and yeah, like Chris said, they pulled a Lost on us, and it's like, yeah, those things, we don't really care about those. They're not. It's just this thing. It's the main thing that you guessed from the beginning. It's Agatha.
That's it.
All along.
And it's her doing. It's like, Scarlet Witch is doing. This is happening, and
Yeah.
So yeah. So you would think Disney would learn with Lost, because that was on ABC, and with Star Wars, that maybe if you're putting these like little subplots in there, maybe have them come out to at least a little something.
Wrap them up.
Yeah, like if they're not going to really do anything, if they're going to amount to just like a little joke, then maybe not do it.
Make a better joke.
Yeah. Because that's what, like, as geeks do, like when we're watching especially Marvel stuff and everything, and we're kind of trying to tie everything together, we're going to come up with theories, and they're like kind of better than what you threw out there. So
Also in a show like that, where it's sort of a mystery, like says, like, what's going on? What's happening? Why is this happening? We all suspected Wanda was behind it. What made her do this? I mean, so you have, Falcon Winter Soldier, like we were talking before, it's probably going to be a little more action adventure, straightforward. A show like this, where they're kind of diving into what's going on, what could this be, what could that be, why is this color, why is this black and white? So it begs you to start to ponder this or wonder that, and start to come up with your own theories. So, yeah, don't feed that train, and then not ever have it pull into the station. So
Don't feed that Mephisto train. I So from the first episode, like Chris, I fell in love with it. I was like, oh, this is so cool. It's like, reliving childhood watching TV. And then I love a good mystery. I'm like, this is gonna be like all these clues that they're like. It wasn't like, look in the background. Do you see that thing in the background that's this little object? That has to be something. No, it was stuff that they like said, and this is going to happen pretty much. And you're like, oh, what's going to happen with this? Something's going to happen with this over here because they're putting it out front, and then nothing happens with it. And so as the show, so I started out really loving it, and then as the show went on, I was like, all right, yeah, this is a good show. And then by the finale, I was just sort of like, it was fun. It was good. Wasn't what I thought it was going to be, but that's fine. And then to hear the director and the writers and stuff talk about it afterwards, where they're like, oh, yeah, we didn't really mean for it to be any of this stuff. That's just what people came up with. You would think, like Chris said, the time that we live in now, where a geek level has, is just on fire, everybody's into all this stuff, that they would think people are going to read into this. People are going to know the comic books. People are going to know the other movies. They were going to have watched all the Marvel movies, because most people that watched WandaVision, this wasn't their first thing into the MCU. Oh, yeah. It wasn't like, yeah, let's see what this is, Oh, that was fun.
Yeah. And some of the writers, that's like the director and the actors that played Dottie, they're like, yeah, we threw this in here as like a thing to kind of steer you away and make you think this thing.
Yeah.
And it's just like, so you purposely led us on to nothing.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Like that doesn't like make sense. How is that kind of?
Yeah, and I would be fine if they wanted to distract us using a character, but then they took it and finished it off in a different direction.
Yes.
Well, like the commercials. I mean, did the commercials mean anything? I watched. My son sent me something. I think it was on Screen Rant, where somebody like analyzed. Like this was like 15 minutes, going into analytics of what the commercials meant. And this was, I think, was done before the finale episode, because he was predicting Doctor Strange was the one behind the commercials. And I'm like, having watched the finale now, and now watching this that was made pre-finale, I was like, wow, you spent a lot of time and thought. I don't know that they put that much thought into those things at all. I think it was like, well, she had interactions with Hydra and, this and that and the other, so we're going to throw that in there and some Stark and some things that's familiar and, make a commercial. And
I think that's basically what they said they did.
Yeah.
Like, the director was like, yeah, it was just like, these are some traumatic things that happened in her life, and we represented them through the commercials. And Wanda picked these two people from the town to be the commercial people because she thought they'd be good in commercials.
Nothing greater than what it is.
So did it get you? Did it get us talking about the show?
Yes.
And that's wanting to find out what happened,
Absolutely.
right? So it's a marketing thing, right? In some ways, or it's just poor planning, or we're smarter than they are. Who knows? I don't know.
And the commercials not necessarily like bug me the most of anything,
no.
Because they are like little hints on like her trauma, like it's all about her trauma, and they all kind of link to the like second to last episode where you go through all of her trauma. So there is like a nice link to that.
Yeah.
It's the things where they're like, yeah, we're definitely leading you off because we know we are, but it's not going to do anything. That's
Quicksilver. That's the elephant in the room. That was like the most. They knew what they were doing. They were like, he's Quicksilver in the other movie. We're going to put him in this and make people's minds explode. And then he's going to be nobody. Although he's Ralph, right? He's Agnes's husband,
he's
Ralph. My husband, Ralph. Yeah, that was just kind of like.
So it was a growing thing.
After credits, he shows up next to Monica. Oh my gosh! And then, it's like, hey, you want some Cheese Whiz or something? You're an actor? Yeah. Into that. On to the next thing.
I mean, they did all that, and they admitted it. They did all that for a Growing Pains boner joke.
Yeah.
Because the director worked on Growing Pains long ago, and he's like, wouldn't it be funny if one of the characters' names was Boner?
So they spent all that time making a connection to growing pains, but nothing else gets connected to anything else.
So I have a theory about this, and we can get to this now if you want to.
Mephisto?
No. It doesn't have anything to do with Mephisto. This has to do with Ralph Boner. Unless Chris, you were about to say something? Sorry.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, to me, like it seemed like a really big missed opportunity to actually include another Avenger, because the guy was an actor. He's in the Marvel universe. Wonder Man is like an Avenger who's part of Vision's story. Like he's like in the comics, he's actually like his mind is like molded from Wonder Man. Wanda and him like went out for like a period of time in the comics, so they really could have made a connection whether he actually became Wonder Man or if it's just the actor himself. Like it could have been a nice connection to the origin story from the comics into WandaVision, but they didn't do it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like Evan Peters, and I wish they would do more with him. I don't like it that he just became Ralph Boner. Whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, but here's my thought. Okay, I'm probably completely wrong, and I've heard people
Probably
sort of
wrong.
talk about this a little bit. I'm wrong.
Probably wrong.
The WandaVision was not supposed to come out first. Okay, it was supposed to go Black Widow, which who knows if that really matters within this timeline. Black Widow, Falcon, Winter Soldier, Eternals, and then WandaVision. I think somewhere in that time, in one of those, probably Eternals would make the most sense, that the mutants get brought up in some form or fashion. Which would make this more of a joke for Evan Peters to be in there, because we already know something about the mutants. So it'd be like, oh, this is funny. They have Evan Peters playing Quicksilver. Well, we already know something's going on with the mutants, so it's not that. It's just a joke for us in a sitcom world. But because WandaVision is put to the front, the joke fell flat.
I don't know. I think it was a deliberate red herring. Like they were just trying to throw, and it did throw you off because you thought.
No, I think it was still
there
supposed
for
to
a
throw you
reason.
off.
But,
I think it was still supposed to throw you off. But when the joke played out and it's just Ralph Boner, then it's like, oh, okay, well, we get it now because in Eternals this stuff happened. Okay, it's funny. Ha 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 ha.
There's a lot of Boner jokes in the Eternals too.
Yeah,
that would have helped.
Yes.
but I think that because of the pandemic and everything happened and WandaVision getting moved to the front, I think a lot of stuff would have made more sense if it was left where it was supposed to be in the timeline.
Well, in the MCU timeline, I mean, WandaVision is like what, like a week or two after the end of Endgame? Because Hayward says that 7 days ago she stole the Vision's body, which was a lie. And I don't know that she they had the big fight with Thanos, and then she was like, okay, I gotta go find Vision. So there's probably a little bit of time there. So and it just sort of seemed that way with Monica, coming back from the snap and so forth, and then getting back to work. That it had probably been a couple weeks. So it's not like it's been months after
Eternals
the last
is
movie
supposed to take
like
place
that.
in the
It
80s?
takes place after Endgame.
Oh, after Endgame?
But it takes place. It really takes place over like thousands of years.
Yeah.
Oh,
Eternal.
I didn't mean 80s. Yeah.
Because there's Eternals. But I think the main storyline may take place. I think they said that it takes place like after Endgame.
Yeah. So Vance in the comments said 5 weeks is when.
5 weeks. Okay.
Yeah,
That was
5
longer than I
weeks.
thought, but okay.
So I think Winter Soldier is going to happen before. I don't think WandaVision is going to lead into Falcon Winter Soldier anyway at all.
Oh no, it'll be
Because because supposedly it was supposed to come before WandaVision. So I think that maybe this is another little thing, and I've heard some people video
More
talk about it a little bit.
theories that won't come
I think
true.
the reason that we didn't see the witness, because that's the big thing. That was one of my big things. What happened to Wu's witness?
Yeah.
I think the reason that we didn't see the witness is because in Falcon Winter Soldier, the witness is going to be introduced, maybe in the background, maybe a small part, and he's going to be one of the actors that's in WandaVision in the background, and we're just supposed to say, "Oh, there's the witness." Like maybe he's the messenger. Maybe he's the don't shoot. I'm just the messenger. You know, maybe he was the witness. But I think we may see him.
Jimmy Woo's in every show. He's gonna be in every show.
He's a new Stanley.
He could be.
But that would make sense why they just sort of dropped the witness, because we would already know who the witness is. So it wouldn't really matter.
Yeah, there was a couple of things like that. I mean, we already touched on one of my big annoyances with the finale was the whole Evan Peters thing that kind of bumped me. I mean, other smaller stuff was, I mean, I would have liked to know more about Monica. Like, what is it about you and your genetic makeup, or what has happened to you? Because it seems like every time they brought up Captain Marvel, she was all like, we ain't talking about her. And, you know, the last time we saw her when she was a kid, you know, they were all fine and cool. So did something happen we haven't seen yet? Did something happen where your genetic DNA got, like, scrambled? So now when you pass through the hex, you're getting abilities and powers no one else is. But they never really talked about that or went anywhere with that. I don't know if that's going to later, maybe?
They briefly touched on it, saying that since she'd gone through twice, it was, like, basically getting too much radiation, and it was kind of changing her cells a little bit. Going through the third time, they didn't know what was going to happen to her, so they kind of did a little bit. But yeah, I wish they would have like followed her up a little bit more. Really all of them, like Darcy and Wu and her. I wish there was more of a wrap up for their characters on the show.
Darcy had like a cameo in the last episode, and that was it.
You're going to jail. That was it.
I'm out.
Yeah, and then then like, she doesn't like to do interviews or whatever. It's just like, okay. So you really just don't have time.
Speaking
Kat
of
Dennings.
Oh, go ahead. What?
I was just say Kat Dennings wasn't available when they were doing reshoots for that, so that's how they're like she was supposed to be there, but it's like one line.
Really?
We'll fix it. Yeah, because it was the mid-credit scene was filmed so much later after that. And like she was supposed to be a bigger part of that mid-credit scene, but Kat Dennings just wasn't available because she's off doing something else.
How's that?
I know, right?
So, like, things like that they did cut. There was a scene that they cut that I wish they would have kept in.
Yes.
And it had to do with the Darkhold and Senior Scratchy. And so basically, they gave the boys, the twins, and Monica a little something more to do in it, where they were going to go after the Darkhold, because the boys saw it in the basement. They knew it was something powerful that they should get. So they're going to get it. They're about to get it, and then Senior Scratchy like jumps in front of the book. And they're like, "Oh, Senior Scratchy, I love him." And then they said they were going to do a werewolf in Paris or transformation.
Oh wow!
A werewolf in London, like transformation of Senior Scratchy into this demon thing, and they were going to have to like fight the demon off.
That's
and
cool.
They apparently filmed it all, but they're like, yeah, then it was going to be too expensive to do the effects and everything, so we had to cut it.
Oh, come on.
Like, put a guy in a bunny suit.
Yeah. You didn't put a guy in a bunny suit. It works on Supernatural. They do that all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish they'd left that in, because it would have made, because Senior Scratchy was another thing that got dropped, and you're like, oh, what's Senior Scratchy going to be? And then they just drop it.
Yeah.
Which that would have made more sense to do that.
Well, White Vision flying off as well. I was kind of expecting a little something extra with him at the very, very end, but they didn't. And it's like, okay, well, you know, the show hasn't really been about him. But at the same time, Vision's back. I mean, he remembers everything up until Thanos killed him. Is he like White Vision in the comics, where he doesn't have the emotional state of Vision? We don't know. I mean, when he flew off, I was like, oh, he's got his memory back. He's going to go help Wanda. He left the oven on, apparently, before the Thanos fight, and was like, I gotta get home. It's been, 5 years, 5 months. I have to water my plants. I don't know. So it's kind of, okay, I guess they'll touch on that.
Well, he'll probably show back up sometime.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
I
really
don't.
not sure where he'll show up again. Like it
Wherever he
doesn't
wants,
necessarily seem
Chris,
to.
wherever
Yeah, I
he
know.
wants.
It doesn't seem like he necessarily fits in anything coming up, like Eternals or Spider-Man or Doctor Strange. Like maybe he'll show up in Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
That's
maybe
like
Doctor Strange.
the more plausible one, I guess, since Wanda's going to be in it. But
Speaking of Doctor Strange, Agnes detects all this magic being used. Strange doesn't.
I
Just New York,
Fighting
New
a
Jersey,
bigger,
it's
bigger
right there,
bag.
man. It's right
he
there in your backyard. Big red glowy thing.
he was like on the couch with Wong eating like a hunka Hulk ice cream. He didn't want to get up.
And
Apparently.
if you ask anyone from New York, no one cares about Jersey. So I mean, there's that too.
or
Again, I need to wear like a tinfoil hat. Maybe when he went through all these, things of the future, seeing all the different things that could take place, he saw this happening, and he knew that Wanda needed to become Scarlet Witch. So he said, "I'm keeping my hands out of this for now because she needs to further her, abilities and stuff."
I mean, and at the same time, we don't know exactly when, like, in Doctor Strange, like what they did with like Thor Ragnarok and Civil War, like they took place around the same time, and they're like, oh, don't worry about them. We'll show you why they're not showing up.
Right, yeah.
Like later, it's the same thing they did with like Iron Man 3 and Captain America Winter Soldier. It's like stuff was taking place at the same time, so of course they couldn't leave what they were doing to come do this. So there could have been something like that they will reveal in the future. They're pretty good about that.
Yeah, because he's going to be in the next Spider-Man movie, right?
He's going to be the next Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Which comes out in December.
Yeah, and that movie takes place directly after the last Spider-Man movie. So I don't know if there's any kind of overlap at all with WandaVision with that.
Yeah.
It's not sure.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
I think I'll give him the benefit of the doubt on that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of these shows that are coming out, right?
It's on the color.
I'm in color now. Yes.
He's moving up in the WandaVision.
Now in Technicolor.
There's a lot of these shows and movies that are coming out. So I mean, I think it's possible that these little bits and pieces could have something to do with the rest of this whole thing. You never know. So
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope it all sort of
And
fits together.
Yeah, I have a little theory on some of that going forward. We could talk about later. Don't have to get into it yet.
I think what's throwing us off is that for forever in the MCU, we knew that it was leading to Thanos.
yeah.
Each thing showed a piece of how it was leading to Thanos. Now that we don't have Thanos,
What's the next big thing?
we don't have the piece that it's leading to yet.
Yeah.
So when we see these separate entities, we're just like, well, what's this? I mean, where's it going? How's it going to
Well,
fit
also
together?
too, they keep throwing things out. 'Cause I think Kevin Feige had said something about that WandaVision, Spider-Man 3, and Doctor Strange are all. It's like an unofficial trilogy. So it's like, okay, so they're all going to sort of interconnect and interrelate. Because I saw a thing with Elizabeth Olsen, which you can't trust what any of the actors say because Luke Skywalker cameo. But she alluded that she might be in Spider-Man 3 along with Strange. So it's like, that's why, okay, so why isn't Strange showing up in WandaVision? Because the two of you are going to be together in the next two Marvel films that are coming out, but you're at Bruce Banner's old cabin out in the middle of nowhere, doing dark magic and stuff. Why wouldn't you just go to Strange?
She could be in the movie. It could just be a after credits thing.
Maybe, yeah.
I saw an interview with Cumberbatch, and they asked point blank, a lot of people thought that you were going to be in WandaVision. What do you think about that? And he, being who he is, he was just like, oh, people thought I'd be in that show? Huh. Yeah, I don't know why. Interesting. Well, you'll see me and Elizabeth Olsen together in the next Doctor Strange. Let's talk about my other movie right now. And he just completely switched.
Nice.
So he knew something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what did you? So you mentioned the cabin in the woods, which was basically the final scene that we saw. We're skipping around a little bit, but that's fine.
Do we
do
want
what we
to?
want. Yeah. So where
just
where do you
just
think
like the
this?
writers for WandaVision. We're just
Yeah,
skipping around.
we skip around. Where do you think this cabin was? Like,
That was Banner's old cabin, remember?
was it? I don't think that was Banner's old cabin.
That's like the Avengers cabin. When you're going through like
No.
mental PTSD, you go out to this cabin they have. You can
Because that
learn how
cabin
to
looked
control
like
your
it was,
anger
like,
or do
in a
black
different
magic.
country.
I'm guessing it was Sokovia.
Sokovia.
That she went back to Sokovia. If you want to follow the theory train or whatever you want to call it, I mean, it could have been. It was in the mountains. It could have been at the base of Mount Wundagore, which is a significant place in the comic books for Wanda. And probably hear my cat food going off.
You have a robot cat?
We have robot cats. That's it in a litter box. That's the sound it makes.
The nuts and bolts oil coming out.
The nuts and bolts coming out. I gotta change the oil on them in a minute. But yeah, I mean, like that's like the base of the mountain. Like that's where, and I don't really know how to say his name, but Chthon. It kind of looks like Cthulhu at the beginning of it, so I'm going with Chthon. That's where her chaos magic comes from. Yeah. That's where her chaos magic kind of comes from, is him as a demon who's like the father of chaos magic, and also the father of vampires, werewolves, and zombies in the MCU. So and that's kind of where he's buried, and that's where she ends up at various points in life, drawn to his power. And he's also the character who wrote the Darkhold.
Yeah, he wrote the Darkhold. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
That makes sense. You said chaos magic. This is something I wanted to talk about. We were talking about episode 1, and I totally forgot. The boss in episode 1, when they're around the table. Well, when they're around the table, he says this is chaos. So in the first episode, we get that it's chaos magic. If you go back, he says it's chaos, and after he says it's chaos, he disappears. He's gone for the rest of the show. When you see the wife, she's by herself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's dead somewhere.
I think he's dead or something. Like he found out he knew more than he should have, and he's
probably just frozen somewhere like a bunch of other townspeople. But yeah.
Oh yeah, they probably. He said chaos, and they're like, okay, we're putting you in your house, and you're not coming back out.
He's with the beekeeper that we don't know whatever happened to.
Mm-hmm.
I think he got rewound maybe when she did that whole. I think that whole point of him coming through. She undid it, and he just got rewound like it never happened. Yeah,
pooped out.
Yeah, but the poor boss. He's probably either dead or he was just frozen in a house for the rest of the show. But in the real world, he wasn't there either. Because that's what it's like. Is he dead or what? Because that lady was just sitting there by herself and stuff.
Well, it seems like it was because those people that were there, Agatha released them, but everyone else was still under the spell. It was just those people. So he was probably just still frozen in his house.
Because he said chaos. He said chaos.
He said the magic word.
He did.
Yeah. You can say boner, but don't say chaos. WandaVision.
You have to say boner.
Oh, it's got an H in it.
Boner.
Anyway. Mephisto what?
That was Mephisto? What?
Did I hear Mephisto?
Calm down.
Woo train.
All right, so the kids. Wanda did not create the kids, right?
I mean, they kind of did.
No,
it looked like they did.
She created Vision, but I don't think she created the kids.
Well, I mean, I think she did.
Yeah, they were out of the chaos magic, just like Vision was.
I don't know, because basically she had no control over the kids.
But like when she was tearing down the thing, they started disappearing. So, like, I think she at least created the bodies of the kids. Now, as far as their souls or
Yeah, that's.
like
I don't think.
themselves, like they might have been pulled from somewhere in order to have inhabit it. Because I don't
Where
know
would
if
they be
she
pulled
could.
from?
Mephisto, or some other dimension like the
Mephisto.
multiverse,
Mhm.
of multiverse of madness. Um, but yeah, I mean, because like she couldn't create a Pietro. Like that's what Agatha was saying. Like
Yeah.
like they didn't have the body or anything there to put them together, so she would have had to pull something from somewhere and put it into the bodies that she created for the kids.
For the children.
For the children.
Yeah, what was that all about?
Yeah, that was
Her
never.
name's
That was never anything.
her name's Sarah. She's 8. She's stuck in her room. She can be the school bully or something. Just anything. Come on, just let her out.
Children.
Do
For
you
the
think
children.
for the children? Um, do you think in the final credit scene, do you think she's actually hearing the voices of her children, or do you think it's something else, playing with her emotions to try to get her to release something or someone else by masking themselves as her children?
I mean, it very well could be.
Could it be
Cthon.
Mephisto?
Cthon.
Sure, it could be.
No, but I'm just wondering, like is that her children reaching out, or is it going to lead into this is how everything just gets blown wide open?
I think they're leading, that scene leads you to believe that like she's trying to, but I mean, you know, it depends on how hard you want to think about it, because it's like, okay, so the kids were real, I guess, because they're calling out to her, but the vision she created wasn't. Why isn't he? I mean, it seems like creating a synthetic android would be a little bit easier than creating an organic living human, and she wasn't able to pull that off and make that sustainable. So
But I mean, he like the vision creation did seem to be more purpose, like on purpose, where the kids were more kind of an accidental thing that happened.
right.
So I mean, it very well could lead into something that's trying to lead her on, and it could come back showing that it was inserting them into her kind of spell in order to pull her that way. So I mean,
or it could lead to nothing. We could never hear about the children ever again.
I mean, the thing was, I mean, when the show was all said and done, I would love to see more Wanda. And I don't know. I mean, they've talked before about, you know, stuff happening as a TV series and then becomes a movie and then can jump back to being a TV series. So I don't know. I mean, there's not going to be a season 2 of WandaVision, but after Doctor Strange and so forth, maybe there would be a show that's called Wanda and Vision, and it's not them pretending to be, you know, housewives or a housewife in a Dick Van Dyke character, but maybe they're, you know, it's like they're continuing sort of adventures, maybe to get the kids back or going into the underworld. I don't know. I mean,
The money's there.
Yeah.
It will happen.
Because, you know, I mean, they were fun characters to spend time with, and you know, to think that we're not going to be able to do that anymore. When Vision's out there and she's out there, because that's the thing. It's like after he fixes Vision and gives him back his memories, you think he would have been like, "Oh, Wanda, my darling. By the way, once I'm gone, Vision's out there. Go find him. Go find me. Be happy." No, I'm going to keep that for myself.
The children have been spotted. The actors have been spotted in the same town where they're filming Doctor Strange 2.
Oh.
In England or wherever it is.
England.
So they could show up in Doctor Strange 2.
They could show up in Doctor
some
Strange.
form, or I mean, they could be on the end of arms, like in the comics.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, I hope they do that.
Okay, so what did you think about Agatha Harkness? How they portrayed that character, how it happened? We can go around the circle if we want to, or however you guys want to do it, or somebody can just jump in.
I don't know. I liked her. I mean, the actress was great. And, I wish there was a little bit more levels to her, because they almost started, like when they did the flashback, they almost started to portray it like there was some kind of like, oh, this is happening. I don't necessarily want it to happen where I'm killing these people, but I'm getting all this power. This is great. But it didn't really go into that. It's more like, yeah, I'm an evil witch. I'm going to take your powers. That's what I do.
Then we'll hide out for 400 years and do it again.
Yeah, because like in the comics, she's not necessarily a bad character, which they could still go into if she shows up in Doctor Strange or whatever. Because I mean, she's still around, so they could definitely do that. But yeah, I do wish it was more of just witch.
I think she'll come back, because why would they leave her in this town, like the directors and the writers and everything, if they weren't going to come back? Maybe in Doctor Strange.
Maybe she'll be in Fantastic Four. She was the caretaker of the children for the Fantastic Four for a while. That'd be funny.
Four. Speaking of Fantastic Four, well, we'll get to that in a minute. Winchester, what'd you think of Agatha?
I mean, I love Catherine Hahn, like hands down. She's been great, but I was gonna say that was the one thing that kind of did play out, but not fully to our expectations. Because we're like, oh, cool, like we know about Agatha. That's who Agnes is. There's something up with her. She's a witch. She's gonna be this mentor. But it's like, hey, I'm not gonna be a mentor. It's gonna be like a therapy session for an episode. I'm gonna show you all your trauma, and then you're just going to deal with it while I try to take that from you. But in this episode that's also a therapy session, I'm going to show you how you can defeat me, all in one line. Oh, there's some runes. Cool.
Wanda catches on fast, too.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to make a rune, but now that I've seen them, I'm going to do it.
Let's do it.
It seems like if there was a thing where they left in the kids trying to get the Darkhold, if they had gotten it and given it to Wanda, and maybe she could have absorbed something from that in order to know how to do it, maybe that would have played out a little bit better.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, she's just kind of new.
Yeah, when I was watching it with my wife and the whole rune thing happened, she's like, has that been there the whole time? I don't understand. Like, how did she just know how to do that all of a sudden?
Like, you could see her doing it.
Oh, yeah, you can see her doing it.
Yeah.
And I said, well, when she misses Agatha, she's actually creating the runes. But, like, she picked that up pretty fast.
Yeah.
She is the Scarlet Witch.
Oh,
it's true.
Well, it's true. I mean, she doesn't necessarily need to learn how to do it. It's just like, I'm going to do it, and it happens.
It's like Rey. She just has the ability.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just, how to do a Jedi mind trick? I just know.
Oh, I thought you meant yourself, Ray.
No.
It's like, man, wait
I was referring to Star Wars.
Third person.
Ray's talking in third person now. Okay.
it's like Ray, Chase.
Speaking of
I do think.
Star Wars, did you all see the meme where it shows Rey healing somebody and then Anakin's like, what? You could do that? I spent all this time angry.
That's good.
That's funny.
Adrian, what did you think of Agatha?
It's good.
Okay.
No, yeah, great actress. You knew. I mean, if you watched it, not really looking into it or thinking or reading into it too far, it was like, why does she know all this stuff? Like, what is going on here? And it was really good the way she interacted with the actors of the show, right? The sitcom, and it kept it interesting and made you think a little bit, like, what in the world? Why is she okay with this thing happening? Like the kids just changed all of a sudden, and because at that point we still didn't officially know who she was.
Kids can't control them.
Yeah. So I thought it was really good. I thought it was kind of weird at the end. I feel like. I guess I don't know. I'm not sure what I thought, but it was a little weird, but didn't. Yeah. It was like we said, I hope it doesn't just end for her, and it kind of did, and it was like, oh, okay, I guess she's gone. But
she's trapped in her mind.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because Scarlet Witch said you're going to stay here, But then she wiped the town out, or made it back, put it back the way it was. You know, it was like, well, does she turn back too? You know, but I mean, obviously she made her sit in some kind of imaginary world. You know, but anyways.
I think it's just a prison in her mind, basically.
Kind of like what happened. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like what? Okay.
So
I want to know.
Nope.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't care for the ace bandage around her neck. Something little. Could have done without that. I wish that they had somehow could have gone a little more into her background, how she got so powerful as a witch. Because basically, it was like, we take her to the stake. Oh, she's a lot more powerful than all of us other witches. I wish they could have gone more into that. Maybe how she got the Darkhold.
Yeah. Has she had it the entire time? I mean, was that what she was studying back in 16 whatever? Or?
Yeah, like where she got it. It'd be cool. I mean, she could have got it from Cornhole Guy.
So I this might be a good thing to get into now. Lead into a little bit. The theory I have, like the Infinity Stones going through the movies, I think Chthon and the Darkhold will kind of show up in the other movies a little bit.
Yeah.
Just because of how they're connected. Like the Eternals, it goes through thousands of years of time. And they had the Black Knight in the Eternals, who was part of King Arthur's like round table in ancient times, which they would fight Morgan Le Fay and Morgana, who have strong ties to the Darkhold in the comics. So it could pop up there, like briefly in the Eternals, as well as even in Thor. There's like Chthon is related to some of the gods that are tied into the God Killer. That's gonna like the villain from Thor. So I think like some of the stuff that they did with the stones, there'll be little hints within that leading up to Chthon being a major player in Doctor Strange, which kind of like is in the last of that run, kind of tying everything together.
Yeah.
Like I think they'll do a little bit of that with the Darkhold now that they've introduced it and Chthon. Like I think
if the Eternals came before WandaVision, maybe all this would have made a lot more sense.
Yeah, it could have shown like the Darkhold passing down through the generations, possibly, and winding up where it is now. Like, it's possible.
Yeah. It could still work though. It
could still work.
You know, out of order. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is interesting that basically WandaVision has been done, but it was supposed to be the fourth thing coming out. You know, when was it? So I mean, we haven't heard anything really on Eternals, right?
Not really.
Not really. We don't even necessarily know the villains per se for the Eternals.
Because WandaVision, when they announced everything, WandaVision was sort of like not on the top of everybody's list, you know. But somehow it became, well, because of the way the world is, became the introduction into Marvel Disney Plus, which is interesting. But I think it lived up. I wish that at the beginning they had, in interviews or whatever, they would just said, "This is Wanda's story," because I think if they made it, "This is Wanda's story," then there would have been a lot less theories and conspiracies and stuff going on. That we knew this is Wanda's story. This is how she's going to get to where she needs to be. Instead of what's the mystery? What's going on? Oh, it's. And then by the final, we all just go, "Oh, it was just Wanda's story." Okay. Because I think we would have,
Yeah, they did play stuff up in the media, and I don't think they necessarily needed to.
Yeah.
So we're all watching it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Like if I knew that this was sort of Wanda or Scarlet Witch's origin story, pretty much, then it would have been cool. But thinking that it's more than that, it's sort of let down by the finale.
Yeah. I don't think they should have said that this is going to tie into Spider-Man and Doctor Strange. It just left it like, this is the show. This is what we're putting out.
Right.
We
Because
don't-
when they said stuff like that, and Doctor Strange has the subtitle of Multiverse of Madness, and then Evan Peters shows up, and you're like, Multiverse of Madness! It's the
Yeah.
multiverse! He's from the multiverse! And no, he's not.
Yeah.
Ah.
So the only person we didn't touch on was the engineer, I think. The
Oh, the aerospace
Oh,
engineer?
aerospace
They
engineer.
didn't either.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The actress that played Monica, she said that she couldn't wait for everybody to find out who the aerospace engineer was. It was like it was like a thing. So I don't know if this person was somebody, and because maybe like you're sort of suggesting, because they shot things or they aired things out of order, they pulled it and they were like, we can't reveal this person yet because this hasn't happened yet. Black Widow hasn't come out, and we were going to have so and so show up in Black Widow, and
It could.
I don't know.
Yeah, it could be someone in Falcon and Winter Soldier. Like, we don't know. Like, it just. And they could have filmed it, but then they had to cut it because it didn't make any sense.
Yeah, because the way they did it, basically, she's like, I know this aerospace engineer. Let me text him. And then she like hides the phone where nobody can see. It's like, oh, who could it be? Like, oh, text him.
You need to go meet him in 1 hour. 1
show
hour.
you, no,
That's
no.
the next episode.
Yeah, I'm not gonna show you.
Yeah.
Yeah, they made it out. Weird.
And here I am with the boring answer. It's just like, oh, it's a scroll. It's got to be a scroll. I mean,
Yeah, that's who I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a scroll. I thought it was going to be the girl that
Talos or someone.
Well,
she grew up with.
Yeah, when the scroll did show up, it almost seemed like she was surprised that there was a scroll. So I don't necessarily think she really has ties to scrolls anymore, because she kind of seemed surprised that there was one a little bit. Like,
Yeah.
oh, hey, you're.
But she wasn't
here.
really surprised where she had to go when she pointed up. She was like, okay, let's go to space.
The
Man,
roof.
up
We gotta
there.
we gotta go to the roof. Like, why'd you bring me down here? Just go to the roof.
You gotta meet the man upstairs. You're gonna meet God. Or Nick Fury. One of the two.
Yeah.
I was hoping that whole unit that they went to that was loyal to her mom were all just scrolls. I thought that's what they were going to do.
Yeah.
That unit was just going to be a scroll unit that's there to help out. But no, it was, when they saw when that lady walked up, it was almost that they thought, hey, here's the person we're going to meet. Aren't you excited? And we're like, who's this random lady?
Yeah.
All right. It wasn't Doc Ock either. Sorry, Chris.
No.
Wah, wah.
Which Catherine Hahn was Doc Ock, so there you go.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Just think if they had Catherine Hahn in this, and then they had Doc Ock, and then Reed Richards showed up too, and they had Wu who also played the guy from The Office, and Reed Richards was played
Jim
by
Halpert.
played by the guy from The Office. Then we'd had all this crazy stuff going on.
Yes.
Yeah.
It would have been
I saw an interview. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it would have been madness.
Sea of insanity.
Mm-hmm.
Say, I saw an interview with Randall Park, who plays Jimmy Woo, and he's like, all these memes are showing up, and I completely forgot that I was in The Office.
All right, let's see. I think we've said what we liked, and we said. Well, so what's one? If you could only change one thing about WandaVision, what would it be?
Boner.
Well, the two things that irritated me with the finale. I mean, if you just take it as it is, without all the expectations of Reed Richards showing up or whatever. Yeah, the Evan Peters thing bothered me, and the other thing that bothered me was when she was walking out of the town. She was walking out of the town, and just moments ago, all the town people were like, we would rather die than be under your mind control. It's been so freaking horrible. She's walking out of the town, everyone's giving her dirty looks, dirty looks, dirty looks. And in my mind, I was like, so you're just getting away with this. There's no repercussions for your actions. You're basically a supervillain, and you're just walking out of there, And then Monica has the line that she has, which almost makes it seem like the writers kind of feel that way as well, that she's not the bad guy, and she's like, oh, if they only knew what you sacrificed for them. you're a kidnapper and you were mentally torturing these people for 2 weeks. You're not a good person to then finally decide to let them go. Kidnappers who let their victims go after 2 weeks still go to jail.
Yeah.
I kind of expected her to like fly off, like get
Yeah.
out of there quick because, the fuzz is coming to get me, or Sword's going to have questions, but
Yeah, if Monica had said something to the extent of like, okay, like, I get what happened here. It wasn't a good thing, but like, these people are gonna come get you. You need to just go. Like, there's not gonna be any explanation. They're not gonna accept anything. Like, I've been through something similar. I get it. Just go. Like, but
yeah.
they didn't even do
That would have
that.
been, and then
think-
and then she shows up at the cabin, and whatever. It just kind of left a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth because I was like, Thanos had his reasons, and his he's doing what he's doing, and he thinks he's right, but he wasn't, and he was mass
And
murderer. It's like if Wanda had started killing people,
Like the boss.
to save her family, like the boss. You still like look at her as a hero. I mean, she's kind of riding the line,
Well-
whether she meant to or not. And I feel like they should have touched on that a little bit. That she kind of started to go to the dark side, whether she meant to or not. And again, maybe they'll address
To
something
me,
later
when
on.
for the townspeople in particular, I think they saw her turn Agatha back into Agnes so quick that they were like, okay, we're not going to say anything because obviously she could just do that to us too. So see you later. Get out.
People suffered enough. Now they're gonna have, hey neighbor, blah 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 blah. It's like, oh my god, would you just go?
I think she's
away?
gonna be the creepy old lady, or not old because she's not that old, but the creepy lady that lives on the hill. That when the kids are like, "Hey, let's go trick or treating," and the parents are like, "Don't go to that house. Let me tell you a story." And so she's just gonna be the crazy rabbit lady because she won't be the cat lady. She'll be the crazy rabbit lady that lives on the hill that nobody will go near.
And don't let your dogs go near her.
Yeah. No. I called that. That's the one thing I got right. I was like, she killed the dog. She's like, I knew she did. And then she told me right into my eyes to the screen. But yeah, anything else? Katrin, is there anything that you would change? One thing you would change?
I don't know. I was thinking. I guess I hadn't really thought about it because just enjoyed it for what it was, I guess. But
Yeah.
I don't think so. I mean, it maybe make it longer. If it was a longer series, that they could develop a little bit more into that whole fight and maybe do some other things with it. But then again, it's like hopefully they're setting up for something else, and we know they are a little bit, at least for. Or we think for Scarlet Witch and maybe the White Vision, but
Yeah, that was like a thing with the White Vision just flying off. I wish there was a reason for him to have flown off necessarily, or they're just like, I am Vision. All right, I'm gonna bust through this glass. I could phase through it, but I'm gonna bust through it and have all the glass shatter down.
It'll look cooler.
Yeah.
Guys, Vision is the man up there.
Yeah, go see the guy up there. It's Vision. He's hanging with the scrolls.
Yes.
What's up, party people?
We'll find out more
got up
about
there.
him in
What's up, party
in
people?
the White Vision and Scarlet Witch series coming to Disney Plus in 2026.
Yes.
White and
It's a
Scarlet.
rumor I just started.
White and Scarlet, that's the name of it.
Why's it gotta be white?
Okay, Scarlet and White.
I saw people, and this is.
Spectral. There you
I
go.
saw people calling him the colorless Vision. I'm like, come on. He's the White Vision. Just they wanted to make sure not to call him white. I was like, he's white.
Spectral. There you go.
Chris, did you say one thing you'd change?
Boner. Just the whole basically he was a joke. Like it could have been something.
Yeah.
Like it even if he was an actor or something, they could have done something a little bit more with it than it was just boiled down to a joke. basically a boner joke. Like it was, I don't know.
If you just used some spell to give somebody super speed, you'd think it would take a toll on their body.
You think?
Don't think about it too much, though.
Maybe that's why
They
in the
do.
water bill in that month or whatever, the water bill spiked so much. If you look at the water bill, because he was so thirsty because he was just running so much. Because if you look at the water bill, it's like, and then the month that, or the time that Agatha there, the water bill goes, like shoots way up.
Didn't notice the water bill.
I noticed weird things.
It's
I'm always
Mephisto.
looking.
He's a really thirsty demon.
Well,
Did it say Memphis on it?
no, but it was just interesting. And the water bill, the year on the water bill was 2020.
When did this happen?
Yeah, I don't remember that. I don't remember that.
2023.
Was there an episode where like Wanda shows us the water bill? I mean, what do you?
Through, like their billing?
Rambo is in Boner's place, and she's trying to figure out who he is. And she picks up this paper, and it's a water bill, and it says Ralph Boner, and it says 2020, the year 2020, and it's got how many months he's been there, basically saying he's just a random dude that's been living here forever. That he's not somebody that just popped in. Ralph Boner has been here it's got months on it. It's got from this month or year to this month that he's been living in this place. It's a little thing. I picked up on it, and it said 2020, and the 2020 probably means nothing. It's when they put props and stuff in things, they put the year that it's coming out, so it doesn't really
2020
matter.
wouldn't make sense because this is supposed to be
Yeah.
in the
2023.
This should have been.
I think that was just a mistake on these people's part.
It's just an old water bill he kept in the attic.
Anyway, she picks up that
just
first,
keeps stuff.
and then she picks up the headshot, the actor headshot. Because she picks that up and she's like, "What? Ralph Boner?" And then she sees the headshot and goes, "What? You're just an actor?" So, anyways,
So if you pause it and you look at it, the water usage is just really high.
In the time period that Agatha is
my
taking over
gosh.
this house.
He's a thirsty boy.
And that's why
Or maybe
that's
it's
it.
for all the vines of the weird plants and trees in the basements or something.
Yeah.
or he just has to drink a lot because he's running so fast. As a
I
normal
think you
human.
need to make a 15-minute video on YouTube talking about this
I
water.
think so.
All right.
I think it warrants further investigation. Marvel's hiding something in that water
They're
bill.
not. It was just interesting because it showed you that it was another nail in the coffin that Ralph Boner was really just Ralph Boner, and no one cares about him. He's just some
Hydro Man. Hydro Man.
He's
made of
Hydro
water.
Man.
It's Hydro Man. It all connects.
He's going to be in Spider-Man 3. You heard it here first. on
I do a
iTunes.
little research for the podcast, for the show. This is what I get. I try to uncover stuff. I try to look up stuff.
Well, that's
From now on, I'm just going to give the answer that everybody else gives. Yeah, like
It was good.
It's short and to the point. What's wrong with it?
I just thought that was interesting that they went that extra step further to let you know that he is not who you want him to be. He's just some regular dude.
Who drinks a lot
He's
of
got a
water?
water bill.
God, water bill.
He's
a
just
ramp
like
about
us.
that. He's the one that picked up the water bill. Anyways, yeah. So I'm interested to see what happens. That final credit scene basically showing that she is more powerful than anybody else because she can astral project herself while she's making tea. Pretty impressive.
I mean-
Because everybody else has to be asleep when they astral project, or dead, or on a table in a hospital. That's where in Doctor Strange. But she was doing it while she was making tea and drinking tea, and she picked up a hot tea kettle by the handle that was hot. So
Maybe that was the astral projection.
maybe so. You never
Bum,
know. And then
She's got to keep up appearances.
and this is me looking
For her
at
neighbors.
the music and
in the isolated
oh god,
community where the cabin is.
Yeah.
it's all fall apart.
Hello, we're coming for sugar. You have any sugar?
Did,
Hello. Oh, you're floating. What is going on?
She's doing the black magic again.
Chaos.
Run, it's a witch! Burn her!
Did anybody else notice that the music at the end was the same music from Doctor Strange?
Of course. No,
No.
I didn't.
You didn't.
No.
Yeah. Same score basically from Doctor Strange, and it was written by the same person.
There you go.
That's cool.
It didn't. So that basically shows you that it's leading into Doctor Strange. Anyways, Vance Cope in the comments
Hey,
said, "You watched the pitch meeting for WandaVision." Yes, Vance, I did, and it was hilarious, and it was spot on,
Yep.
and it's so funny.
Seriously.
I think that's the best pitch meeting that he's done. I forget the guy's name that does them, but it
Ryan
was
George.
so funny, and it was so spot on. Everyone that watched the show felt, yeah, it was good. You should go check it out if you haven't watched it. Next week we'll be doing a roundtable discussion on the pitch meeting video.
Oh my gosh.
We're gonna break it down.
So I think it's actually the same person. If you look at the
What?
clues, they look a little similar,
Yeah.
but I
Okay,
think it's the
fall
same
asleep.
person.
How much water are they using now?
Yeah.
God.
If you look at the water bill in the back,
Winchester,
Picture
did I
in
ask
the
you-
back on the desk
Do you wanna
clearly
check?
shows that they're two different people.
If I were to change anything,
Yeah.
so I would have changed who the aerospace engineer is. Everyone's like, oh, it's Reed Richards, oh, it's this person. But right before the episode aired, there was this big rumor on Twitter saying that Big Hero 6 was going to be introduced into the MCU. And I think that Hiro Hamada would have been a great aerospace engineer, if not Takashi. Which, if you've seen Big Hero 6, I mean, Takashi's already been mentioned in the MCU. He's got some program that I forgot what movie it is, but like the chips that they put in Baymax with this
Yeah.
programming.
yeah,
They have similar-
It's when Tony Stark is trying to pick a new voice, a new AI,
Yeah, there's the Friday and then
the Friday AI. There's a Takashi chip there with labeled Takashi.
So
okay-
I
it's
think
okay
it
to
would have
see
been
that.
cool to.
it's okay to see the Takashi thing, but not the water bill. See how it is. That would have been cool. I mean, that would have been. I would like that. That would've
Yeah.
been cool.
I just like I just want you to watch everything and just notice those things from now on. Like, oh, they had a receipt from Subway. Did you see that?
Subway wasn't even
God.
around.
Winchester.
He
see
got
how
a
it was?
$5 footlong that day.
But it turns out the footlongs are only 11 and a half inches. Oh no, what's going to happen?
Mephisto.
The devil. Come
The
on.
devil's in the details. See?
Yeah, that was
Okay, since nobody asked me.
Hey Ryan,
what would I change?
so what is there something that you wish could be different?
Oh, nothing. Okay, move on.
besides Pietro, which Chris already mentioned that, I would have left the scene in with Senor Scratchy because it would have at least wrapped up that little subplot.
Mm-hmm.
I would have left that in.
I really wanted Senor Scratchy to be Ebony, Agatha's cat, because in episode 8 she talks about like transmutation and she turns the fly into the bird and stuff, and I thought that would have been really cool.
If he turned into the cat,
Yeah.
that'd been cool.
But did you see that there were some theories online? Senor Scratchy SS, Stephen Strange. She turned Stephen Strange into the rabbit. And I was like,
That's why he didn't get
that, what?
I saw
And
that.
we
Please
all
don't.
know he loves to eat moth birds.
Yes.
I mean, most people thought it was a reference to either the devil, because Old Scratch is the name for the devil, or Nicholas Scratch is Agatha's son.
Yeah.
So that was the main. But I did see the Stephen Strange thing, and I thought that was dumb. That one I thought was dumb.
I
So
like the Mephisto train.
hope everybody sends me their old water bills so I could take a look at them.
Analyzing this.
Analyze them. Every MCU thing. There's a water bill in now. I'm your guy. I'm your guy. Anyways, all right.
Wanda won't have one.
Wanda won't
She's
have
in
one.
the mountain. She's in the mountain. She gets
Yeah.
it straight from the springs.
Straight from
So
the
you're fine.
springs. Oh man. Well, thank you guys for making fun of me.
Anytime.
I think we're wrapping it up unless you guys have anything else about WandaVision.
Yeah.
I guess we'll form the circle again after Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Ooh.
Dun, dun.
Which I heard that it's not going to be as long as people think it's going to be.
What do you mean?
Oh, really?
How many episodes?
Kevin Feige, or however you say his name,
Feige.
said that people are going to be disappointed about how long
Oh, great.
it is.
You're only 15 minutes, please.
There's 3 episodes, 15 minutes
Yeah,
apiece.
I think it's going to be shorter than WandaVision.
You're going to introduce U.S. Agent and then cut to black. There you go.
Probably. I don't know.
But wasn't he the same one that said like the last 3 episodes of WandaVision were going to be an hour, and they were never an hour?
It was misinterpreted. I saw the article where he said that, and he didn't say that, but people thought that's what he meant.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, they said, "Oh, well, that's what he actually means. That this is how long it's going to be, the last 3 episodes." But,
Nope.
but he did say people are going to be disappointed in the length of Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Fine. Maybe they should just tell us how long it's going to be now then.
Van said he
Then,
heard
like-
that it was going to be like 6 episodes.
No, that's not too bad.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, well,
I know.
if it's 6 episodes at like
15
45
minutes
minutes
long.
an episode, if they're all like half-hour episodes, it's like
Yeah.
it's like a 3-hour movie. I mean, that's
Mhm. Yeah, it's not
Maybe they
bad.
made a movie called Falcon and Winter Soldier, and they're like, "We need another show. Split that baby up."
We'll throw some commercials in there that mean
Yeah.
nothing.
It's gonna start with like episode 1. There's gonna put in like a black place card thing in there that says episode 1, and then they'll be running, and then all of a sudden it'll just go credits, and then the next one will just say
Please stand by.
Yeah.
Speaking of
Oh,
the credits, I mean, the credits for WandaVision, did you guys ever pause it like when the episode got done and you still had about 10 minutes of credits? And I
Oh,
was
yeah.
like,
A lot of credits.
holy moly. I mean, the episode was like 32 minutes, and there's almost half of the episode now. Another half of an episode is credits. My lord, that's
They
a lot
do
of
that for
credits.
every Disney Plus show, and it drives me bonkers.
Yeah. The Mickey
Because-
Mouse cartoons are that way too.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like
my kids
3
are watching
minutes
the
and
show,
10 minutes of credits.
and then 10 minutes of credits, and they're like, "We want to watch the next one," and I'm like, "It'll come on." It's like, "It's not coming on," and I'm like, "There's 10 more minutes of these credits," so yeah, it's ridiculous. I want people to get the credit that they deserve.
Yes.
Just make it go by faster.
faster.
That's what pause buttons are made for. Anyways, well, thank you guys for coming. Winchester, thank you for stepping in the last
Yeah.
moment. Love having you on. Ray, it's always a pleasure to have you on. You always give us some great surprises and great conversation.
Great surprises.
Well, like your background. I mean,
Oh,
I know you're going to be in the Brady Bunch house, and you're there.
I am there. I'm
Yeah.
stuck in my own WandaVision
Astral
world.
projection.
Yes. Working through some grief.
Oh, Vance wants us to have a iamGEEK watch party next Thursday
Thursday.
Oh, for
Like 2 a.m.
For Falcon.
for Snyder.
2 a.m. Oh, my
Oh, for the
Lord.
Snyder Cut.
Oh, for Snyder Cut. Thursday for the Snyder Cut.
Yeah, that's not good for me. Can't wait.
It's like 4 hours long. That's a long watch party.
Yeah. You know how many pee breaks I'll have to take for that? My Lord.
I've tried
I'm
to
gonna.
watch party things on like YouTube when people do it, and most of the time it's just this. It's just somebody staring at a screen, and they're like, "Oh yeah, see what they did."
That
there."
was cool. Yeah. Oh wow.
Okay. I'm someone who hasn't seen the original Justice League just because the DCEU just didn't interest me at the time. But now I'm going to watch the original and then the 4-hour cut and just give timestamps. Like, okay, it's different here, 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 and here. Go watch it.
It's gonna be really different.
Yeah,
There you go. Like, the original movie was like, what, 3 hours long, right?
it wasn't any good.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I watched it on a plane, and it wasn't a 3-hour plane ride, so it has to be
It's
like
shorter.
two
There's
and
like
a
an
half,
ex-
2:15.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, cool. We're gonna get the Joker in a nightmare scene, and cool. That's it. Nothing else. Nothing else matters.
Darkseid's gonna be in it, eh?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're going to
Darkseid
go
is
into
fine.
that. They're going to go more into Cyborg's backstory. They're going to go into more of the Flash. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to it just because I like Justice League and just the comics and stuff. So I always like to see the characters.
I'm telling you,
See how it does.
Superman and Lois on CW has
Mhm.
done more for Superman than any of the recent Superman movies. I've enjoyed it. Like, the
Yeah, it's
Superman
actually
movies,
been pretty good.
Yeah.
I haven't enjoyed, but I've enjoyed how they're doing this with the kids and more, emotion and not just like, hey, I'm Superman, sort of thing. But they're really diving into sort of like the human side of them.
There are moments with the kids where it starts to get CW, and I start to get twitchy. I'm like, I'm going to
Yeah.
stick with this. Get back to Superman. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Woo!
He
so
likes
much.
a girl that's going out with a jock.
Oh,
But-
No, the jock hates him.
But you said this was a CW show, right? I mean, that's
I'm just saying, like,
so-
the first episode, because I haven't watched the latest. I've watched the first two. The first episode was better than any of the Superman movies recently.
Yeah, I got all caught up because I guess there's now 3 episodes, and it's been pretty cool. I mean, and there's some mystery going on as to what's going on and what's happening with the villain and so forth. But
Has there been any water bills?
what's that?
Has there
Any
been
water bills?
Yeah.
There's been a couple times where they've been sitting around with paper on the table, and I haven't gotten to get a good look, Ryan.
There's been
I've
some
paused
stuff
and I
with
can
mortgage.
enhance. I can't see how much water did they use last month. I need to know this.
I mean, he's
Ryan needs to
Superman.
know this.
Does he need a lot of water? I mean, he takes a lot of sun. He gets hot. I mean, he's got to.
Takes long showers.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know what we'll be doing next week.
yeah. I gotta go out of
Think
town
about
next
it.
week. By the way,
Oh no.
on Thursday.
Oh no.
Yeah.
At 2 a.m.
At 2
when the
a.m.
episode drop.
Actually,
What are you gonna do?
I'll.
Is this the end of iamGEEK?
I mean,
Find out next time on iamGEEK.
dun, dun, dun.
Quick, Katrin, show us your water bill.
Stand by.
It's electronic. I mean, I guess I could flash it up on the screen.
All right. But we have all kinds of cool stuff coming up, and we're going to be. I think the 3 of us are going to be on Main Street Electrical Podcast coming up in April, I think, sometime 1st of April, and then we've got some other fun stuff coming up. Secrets that if you watch
We
this
don't
video
even-
back and you look in the background of our videos, you will find clues to what's coming up on future episodes of iamGEEK. So watch them over and over again, not because we want the views, but yeah, just look around.
It's just more,
Analyze them. Talk about
it's just
them.
more talk about the Mephisto train, probably.
There's a bobblehead.
Dun, dun.
Could there be iamGEEK bobbleheads coming out? I don't know.
No.
No, there's not. Anyway, thank you guys. Thank you, Ray. Thank you, Winchester.
Thank
It's
you.
been a blast. Had fun. I don't know if you guys had fun or not, but we had fun. I hope you guys listening and watching had a blast. And then we'll see you next time on iamGEEK. This has been episode 184. See you next week.
What?
I think we're still on YouTube, so don't say anything bad. Thank you, Vance, for all your comments. Other commenters on here with us.
Sorry.
It's fine.
But yeah. So I'm glad that my audio worked out.
Oh,
Last night, yeah, I was gonna say last night we were doing the audio and internet test, and he's just like, just keep talking. And I was like, okay, Crocs for cats. Something like that. I was like, this is my elevator pitch. Crocs for cats. I was like, still have the little toe bean imprint on the bottom of the sole. It works out. It's still cute, just more sanitary. And it's
But then they get litter inside of them. That's just
well, you take it off before they go.
You won't get scratched. Cats won't scratch it because there'll be Crocs on their feet.
No, but the Crocs have holes in it, so.
Oh, they have holes. They have holes.
Yeah.
In it.
So you'll be pummeled by the shoe and scratched up by the. That's. I don't know.
See, it's still being workshopped.
It's still.
Let's put a pin in that.
That's why I'm not invited on the show. So someone will be in the chat. Ben, do you want to come on the show? We could probably work that out.
Sure.
Can, yes.
There's a long process you have to go through. Winchester had to. There's a lot of paperwork.
It's
Pee in a cup.
It's a day before text saying, "Hey, do you want to talk about this?" Yeah, sure, why not? Okay,
you have to
cool.
submit your water bill, Chance.
And since I'm renting, I can't get access to my water bill, so it was kind of a loophole.
Hey, I'm watching this on YouTube on my phone.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I get the.
Hey, look at me.
Hey, look at that. Hey, look. I'm on the interwebs.
I'm famous.
All right, turn that off.
That's what people usually say when they come across this.
I'm just hoping that everybody that listened and watched this episode go back in Disney Plus and go to the water bill moment. Pause it.
Do you know what episode that is?
Yeah, that's the last episode.
Fine, all right.
Yeah,
Okay, do you have a timestamp?
Towards the end.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Around that time.
Because that would be a good just water bill, like the title of the episode would be like water bill episode 9, this timestamp.
I'll find it and I'll send you guys a picture. Anyways, Vance, reach out, message me or something, maybe, and let me know if there's something you want to talk about. We can do what we want to.
Oh well. Well, let me ask you. We didn't get to this on the show. I mean, just real quick before we all head out. So, how did you guys take it? Are we still on
Yes.
YouTube? Are we still being viewed? Okay. I won't curse then. So, did you guys take it that Wanda was born a witch and always had witchy powers, or it all came from the Infinity Stone? Because when they were going back through the traumas, and she said that the bomb didn't explode, Agatha tried to say, "Oh, well, you did a protection spell," and she was like, "No, I don't know how to do that." So I don't know. How did you guys take it? I took it that Agatha wanted her. Like she was taking her back through all those moments to try to find out at what point did you become so dang powerful. And it all came down to the stone kind of bestowing the power of the Scarlet Witch on her.
I took it that she was like a witch, not necessarily like a powerful witch or anything, but she had the ability to become something like that. There was like she had like a gene or something, some kind of innate little power to it, and the stone recognized that in her, and then amplified it. And
gotcha.
Like it was like she was like a lightning rod, and the Mind Stone was a bolt of lightning, and it just like a bolt of lightning.
Oh, sorry, it was a Back to the Future. A bolt of lightning.
Yeah.
Sorry. That's how that's how I kind of took it.
Yeah, I figured that she had some kind of ability.
21 gigawatts.
Whether she actually did stop the bomb or not, I think that's kind of up for debate.
Yeah.
Okay, if you go to timestamp 9 minutes, about 50 seconds, and then that's where she picks up the water bill.
Wait, there it was.
I was gonna say my interpretation was similar to Chris's, where it's just like, yeah, like she had this stuff, just didn't know about it.
Mhm.
But it's also just like that brings up Cathan again, where it's just like, oh, okay, because in the comics, like, didn't he like touch her in her life and like tapped her on the shoulder or something? And
Yeah, basically, when she was being born, he was kind of fighting for his life, and so he imbued her with like chaos magic in order to make her like a something that he could latch onto eventually
yeah,
in order to bring himself back into our world. And because he was trapped under Mount, like inside Mount Wundagore, where she
Gotcha.
was born. So she was a mutant, whatever, but he kind of enhanced her abilities.
I will say I do wish they had shown I forget the actor's name, the Quicksilver from the MCU when they were going back into the Hydra facility, and that would have been kind of cool to kind of see him.
Yeah,
You
that would have
know, just as a nice sort of throwback.
Yeah, because if we're going off the thing that she was a witch and that's why the Mind Stone kind of gave her that, that's how she survived the Mind Stone or whatever.
Mhm.
Like, how did Pietro survive it? Like, because
Unless he had a little bit of the witchy power in him
Yeah.
too.
Warlock.
or maybe like
Yes.
Wanda protected him somehow from that and imbued him with the power through it. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
it would have been interesting to see.
Yeah,
We
because
should
they
have
made a
talked
big
about this
deal
on the
in
show.
Ultron that they were the only two to have
survive.
interacted with the stone and survive. So
which I thought it would have been cool to be like, oh, this is the introduction to the X gene, and then there have been like rumors that the reintroduction of the X-Men to the MCU won't be titled the X-Men. It'll be titled what Stanley originally wanted to call them, which is just the mutants. But they said a publisher when it first came out, the publisher was like, no one knows what a mutant is. He's like, okay, I'm gonna call it the X-Men then, I guess. And it's like, oh, okay. And green lights it, and it's like, there's the X-Men.
Yeah, no one knows what an X-Men is, but that's good. So.
Yeah. Which, I mean, that interview with Stanley was just like, no one knew what it was anyway. So it's just like, it sounds cool, I guess. You can connect X to Xavier. Ta-da.
Ta-da!
what I was telling Chris the thing with the Evan Peters thing. It would have been like if Patrick Stewart had shown up and he was in a wheelchair, and everybody was calling him Professor, and then he just turned out to be a history professor.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Wait.
gotcha. He's a nobody. He's just a professor in the town.
It's just like, quick, what are other names that start with X?
All right, well, I guess we can wrap it up on YouTube, right?
Sure.
Wanda gave him powers to survive the test. Oh, maybe Wanda gave him powers. That's what
Yeah.
that says.
Sure.
I must have missed that. Anyways,
All right.
well, thanks for jumping on this train with me.
Yeah.
Come on, ride the train.
I'm gonna jump off that train now.
Yep.
All right.
But this
Well,
is
let's-
coming.
Jump off the train and never get back
Say
on.
bye to
Yeah.
YouTube, everybody.
Bye, YouTube.
And
Bye,
Facebook.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Bye.
For the
And
children.
Facebook.